Hello guys, this is George Dean from myphotographybusiness.com. Let's talk about 10 tips to increasing your low sales average and hopefully in the end saving your marriage. It's a little bit of a joke, but not really. A lot of photographers spend way too much time doing photography, spend very little time with their family. Their marriages suffer, and the divorce rate in the photography industry is nothing to brag about. So I want to teach you how to bring in more profit with less sessions and spending more time with your family. I do photography because one, it's a highly profitable business for me. Two, because of that profitability, I get to spend more time with my family. It's a lifestyle choice of how I run my business. I don't want my business to run me. I want to run my business. And I'm going to help teach you how to do that. And that's kind of the whole idea behind myphotographybusiness.com. How can we reduce the time in shooting to shoot better? How can we reduce our Photoshop time? How can we market smarter and make more money? All right? There's no pride in being a poor photographer. So let's get right into it. Number one, pricing for profit. If you don't know how to price your products for profit, you're just spinning your wheels. If your 8x10s and 5x7s, as an example, are under $50, I guarantee you're hardly making any money at all. I calculate the time I spend per high school senior. I mainly shoot high school seniors and weddings. Most of my seniors, we do an indoor-outdoor session. By the time I schedule the session, show up early to my studio to make sure my studio smells good, clean, music's going, makeup artist is there, and shoot the session and download the cards and Photoshop them, get a slideshow ready, show up early at my studio again for the ordering session, do the slideshow, go through the sales process our credit card, follow up with thank you cards, upload them to my lab, unbox them, repackage them, deliver them. I'm 12 hours into my client. Well, one of the things you have to realize about pricing for profit, that $2 8x10 that you get, if you sell it for $4, you did not make 100%. It means you made $2 and worked 12 hours. That's not what you want to do. Let's say you spent 12 hours on a session. You want to make $100 an hour. That means you need to make $1,200 average before you pay for your product. So I need $1,200 sale at minimum to reimburse me for the $100 an hour I want to make photographing. If you want to make $200 an hour and you spent 12 hours, you need to have a $2,400 sale. Okay? There's a lot that goes into this pricing for profit, and I have several videos of it at myphotographybusiness.com, and I drill it into your head, because if you are not pricing for profit, you're going to be working more and more hours because you're trying to, what are you trying to do? Make more money. But you aren't pricing profitably in order to do that. Pricing for profit is huge. Projection sales. If you are not projecting your images, you are leaving money on the table. Handing someone a proof book and letting them go home and decide what they want to order, in my opinion, is not professional. I want to be able to sit down with my client, do a projection sales session where I throw their images up on a 9-foot projection screen with music flowing, and it's an unbelievable emotional experience for my clients, something I would not deny them. Plus, I can make professional recommendations. If I would put these 3 images together in a wall collection, I would put these in an album, I would make this one a long, skinny one. I can make professional artist recommendations with my client. Plus, I'm building a relationship with them, because let me tell you, one of the keys to building a business is repeat and referral-based business. Well, you can only build repeat and referral-based business if you become friends with your clients, if you develop that relationship. Projection sales, I guarantee you the cost of a projector and the cost of a screen will be reimbursed within 2 to 3 sessions. And in many cases, it's paid the very first session. You need to have a simple price list, guys. The last thing you want to do is confuse your clients by having too many options on your price list. If there's things on your current price list you don't sell very often, get them off your price list. You don't need everything on your price list you can possibly sell your client. In fact, it's nice sometimes not to have things on your price list, because you can then bring them forward and say, you know what, let me do something special for you. I think in this case, this product makes the most sense. And then you tell them the price. So what, it's not on your price list? 2 things makes a great price list: simple and simpler. If you find that your clients are looking at your price list confused, guys, That's the death to sales. Confusion and too many decisions. Don't make them make too many darn decisions. Don't confuse them with your price list. That's another thing I'm going to pound into your head on my website because that's very important. You need to have a sales plan. I go into my senior session, sales sessions, knowing basically these are the 4 products they're going to purchase. Same thing with a family session. I go in with a plan. If you don't know what they should do with the images, how is your client? You need to go into the session with a sales plan, and you need to shoot with your sales plan in mind. When I'm shooting a family, I know I'm going to want a multiple wall portrait collection on the wall where there's 3+ wall portraits on the wall. So I know I need the family in the center. I need dad with the kids on the right side, mom with the kids on the left side. Going down the hallway, I want one of each kid. Maybe I want another center picture with all the kids together with little pictures going around it of each of the individual children. Go in with a sales plan. You got to shoot with a sales plan in mind. If not, you're just guessing. Go in with a sales plan, guy. And let me tell you, some high-end photographers, I don't do this. I probably should, but they do pre-portrait consultations where they bring the client in, they introduce the price list, they introduce the products. Before they ever shoot the session, they know exactly what they're selling their client. It's a little bit easier to shoot the session in that way, isn't it? So have a sales plan in mind. Pre-sell your way to higher sales. If the first time you introduce them to the idea of a $2,000 custom design album is at the sales session, you aren't going to sell it. That needs to be introduced earlier in the process, whether it's at the phone call or when they first visit your studio. Here's another thing. I should have made this 11 tips. If you can't show your clients the products, they can't buy them. If you don't have a 30 by 40 on your wall, it's very hard to sell a 30 by 40. If you don't have custom albums out for them to look at, it's very hard to sell a custom album. So show them these products early, and you're pre-selling the idea that these products are available. If they ask you pricing, just be honest about it and forthright. They need to get used to the idea of the types of products that they can buy and the prices that they'll pay. Create a wonderful, amazing experience. I want my seniors to have an amazing time when they're at my studio. I want the slideshow to be hugely emotional with moving music and beautiful images. If your clients can't get emotional about the work, they can't spend a lot of money. I had a session 3 days ago. It was a $4,000 order for a high school senior. The dad said, I have never spent this much money and been so happy at the same time. He said when he buys a dishwasher, he'll fret over it for a week. That this is just so amazing, that this feels so good to be spending this money. That's awesome. You know, you need oil in your car to lubricate the parts. With the oil in a photography sales session is emotion. They need to become emotionally involved in the prints. They need to become emotionally involved with you. That happens by creating an amazing, wonderful, fun experience. Very important. The goal of all this is to do less sessions for higher averages. Would you rather do half the sessions and have twice the averages? Automatically it means you're going to spend twice as amount of time with your family. I have 3 little girls. I want to spend every freaking moment I can with them. I don't want to be photographing all the time. So I have to have very nice averages. I've got to be a good shooter. I've got to be a good salesman. I've got to be a good marketer, which is what my photography business is about. Is I show you videos on how to shoot better, how to Photoshop faster, how to market smarter, and how to sell more. I want more time with my family. I'm in this business because I love the lifestyle. I also love how it affects people. They cry when they see their pictures. Tears rolling down daddy's face when he sees his daughter's pictures. That's amazing. That is powerful. I love that. Experiment with later sales sessions. When I used to do sales sessions at 5 p.m., they were always lower than my 8 p.m. slideshows, my sales sessions. One of the reasons why at 8 p.m. parents can come home, eat, relax, watch the news, chill out, and then come to the studio and pick out their pictures. Or they all go out to eat, so they all come in happy. They just came back from eating, wherever, Macaroni Grill or something, and just having a wonderful time together as a family. Then they get this wonderful emotional experience of seeing the pictures up on this 9-foot wide screen with beautiful surround sound. It's awesome. So maybe experiment with later sales sessions. I do 8 p.m. because I have 3 little girls. They're in bed by then. So we put them in bed. I'll run up to the studio and do my sales session while my wife works out or takes a bath. And all of this is designed to save your marriage, guys. Most people are married that are in this business. You generally don't want to get a divorce. Divorce rate in this industry is pretty sad because people spend too much time doing the photography and spending time on the computer clicking that mouse 1,000 times. Take your spouse on 2 vacations a year. Spoil her or spoil him. Show them you love them. Work on getting higher averages so you can spend more time with your family, so you can afford to do the things you want to do. I love going to seminars. I make sure I make the money I need to make in my business to support my family, put some money into retirement, put some money into my kids' college education, afford the best in equipment that I can that money can buy, and go to seminars. I want to have that money in there to do that. If you know you got to buy a new camera every 3 years, you got to buy a new computer every 3 years, you better be making sure you're making enough money to cover those future expenses. So, the entire purpose of myphotographybusiness.com is to teach you how to shoot better, Photoshop quicker, market smarter, and make higher sales so you can spend more time with your family. Because that's my goal, and for most photographers, I think that's their goal too. So guys, this is George Dean from myphotographybusiness.com. Thanks for listening.